Hello soulmate, welcome back to my YouTube channel. This is Soul with Aaron B. If you are joining us for the very first time, a special welcome to you. You have joined a wonderful creative community. Today I'll be sharing with you how I made this stunning two-piece with a touch of Asoke. I wanted to design a modern outfit with a traditional touch, and you can either make yours in long or short. So in this video, you'll be learning exactly how to cut and sew the whole look, including how to attach a pocket to your shorts neatly. So grab your cutting materials, get comfortable, and let's create something beautiful together. This is the fabric I'll be working with, and this particular fabric is crepe. It's crepe. Then I have Asoke. This is just a leftover Asoke I've used in the past, so I just decided to combine it. So this crepe is almost 2 yards. It's just remaining about 6 inches to complete 2 yards, so I'll just call it 2 yards of fabric. And the color of this crepe is not white. Okay, it's not white, it's cream, and it's stretchy, but although one side is more stretchy than the other side. So I'll be using the part that is more stretchy for the width and the part that is not too stretchy for the length. The length of the top is going to be 26 inches. Now the length of this Asoke, what I have is 6 inches, meaning I need 20 inches from the cream fabric to complete it 26. But because ½ inch will be going as sewing allowance from the Asoke, meaning when ½ inch going as sewing allowance, we'll be left with 5.5. So I need 20.5 inches from the cream fabric to complete it 26. So what I'll be cutting out from this upper part is 20.5 inches, which is 20.5. Now I'll be adding extra 1 inch for sewing. ½ inch inside that extra 1 inch. ½ inch will go in for joining the shoulder, and the remaining ½ inch will be for joining the down parts. I came down by 9 inches for the armhole length. I marked 10 inches for the bust line, then I marked 16.5 for the waistline. Now for the neckline, I'm going to be making use of 3.5 by width for the neckline. 3.5. I don't want it too wide. Then for the length, I made use of 7.5, which is 7.5. It's going to be a V neckline, and then I connected the lines together. For the shoulder, my normal shoulder is 16 inches, which is 8 on fold. But because I just want the shoulder to come down a little, I'm making use of 8.5, which is 17. Then I added extra ½ inch for sewing, so I marked 18, which is on fold 9 inches. I marked 18. Now I came down by 1/2 1/4 for the shoulder slope, not fully 1 inches, 1/2 1/4. So this is me just showing you where 1/2 1/4 is on the tape. So I made use of 1/2 1/4 for the shoulder slope. Now to take the body measurements, I will not be using the exact body measurements for this particular tutorial. Now for the bust, the normal bust measurements is 39 inches. So but because I want this top to be free, I'm going to be making use of 44 inches for the bust. So 44 divided by 4 is 11. So I marked 11 and I added extra 1 inch for sewing allowance. Now for the waist, normal waist measurement is 32, but I made use of 40 for the waist, meaning on fold I marked 10, then I added extra 1 inch for sewing allowance. Now for the hip, for the down part, I'll be making use of the hip measurement. The normal hip measurement is 42, but for this particular tutorial, I'll be making use of 45, which is I added extra 3 inches. I don't need to add too much for the hip side because there'll be a slit by the side, so I don't need to add too much allowance there. I don't need to add excess there. So I just added extra 3 inches, making it 45 inches. So 45 divided by 4 is going to give us 11 and quarter. Okay, 11 and quarter. So I made use of 11 and quarter. I marked 11 and quarter there. Then I added extra 1 inch for sewing allowance. Then I'll just connect the lines together. Now, after connecting the lines together, the next thing is to work on our armhole. So I'll just get my tape, and any measurement I have at the shoulder, I will transfer it to the armhole length. Then I'll get my straight ruler and join both lines together from the shoulder to the armhole length. I'll join the lines together. So after that, the next thing is to get my curved ruler. I'll be using this curved ruler to get my armhole curve. Now, from that line I marked for the armhole, I'm going to go in by 1 inch. I'll make sure it's 1 inch. I'll go in by 1 inch, then I'll connect. Just as you can see, the reason why I'm going in by 1 inch, because I don't want excess by the side. Okay, it will make your armhole more balanced. Then I'll just cut it out. So the next thing I'm going to do is just to cut out the Asoke that I'll use to complete the length for the front. Just place it like this and cut it out, and we are done for the front part of the top. Now I'm going to cut out the back part of the top. Just place your front on top of your fabric to cut out the back. The only difference between the front and the back is the neckline. So for the neckline of the back, the width is the same thing, just the length. The length, I made use of 1 inch for the length, and that is it. Then you cut it out. Now, in cutting the armhole for the back, I intentionally left that ½ inch you can see there. And the reason why I left it is because since we went in by 1 inch for the front, for the back, you are meant to only go in by ½ inch, because you know your back shoulder, your back side is wider than the front part. So in going in, I went in by half for the back. That's why I left the remaining half there. So now we are done for the front. We are done cutting for the front. I'm just going to place the Asoke I cut for the back, for the front part, in cutting the one for the back as well. And we are done for the front. Now it's time to cut our shorts. The length of the short I'm working with is 22 inches. That's the length of the short. And the length of the band I'm working with is 2 inches. So I'm going to be adding extra 2 inches to the length of the short, making it 24 inches. The remaining 2 inches will be used for folding the short. Okay. Now I place my tape at 1.5 to get the full length of the short, because I'm working with a 2 inches band. So I didn't place my tape I didn't subtract exactly 2 inches to get the length, because the remaining half will be used for sewing. It will serve as sewing allowance. So if you are working with a 2.5 inches band, you place your tape at 2 inches to get the length of your short. Then if you are working with a 3 inches band, you place your tape at 2.5. So I marked 8 for the hip line, then I marked 12 for the crotch depth. 12 for the crotch depth and 8 for the hip line. So because I want the short to just be a little bit free, the normal hip measurement is 42, but I'm making use of 44, meaning I added extra 2 inches. 44 divided by 2 divided by 4 is 11. So I marked 11 for the hip line. Because the waist is going to have an elastic, I marked the same 11 inches I marked for the hip for the waist. Then I also marked the same 11 at the crotch area, and I added extra 2 inches for ease. Then the next thing to do is just to connect all lines together. Now after connecting the lines together, from that point I went up by 1 inch. Yes, I went up by 1 inch, and then I just connected it. I gave it a curve just like this. So for the down part, where your short stop, just measure the roundness of your thigh there. Whatever measurement you get, you add allowance for ease to make it free. So mine is 18. I added extra 4 inches, making it 22. 22 divided by 2 is 11. So I just marked 11 there and I connected the lines just like you see me doing. So of course, you know, when it comes to your thigh, you are going to divide by 2. But when it comes to your hip or your waist, you divide by 4. Okay, so when I'm done, we are done for the front part and I just cut it out. Now the next thing we are going to do is to cut the back. Okay, so just fold your fabric and place the front measurements like this. So I'm not going to be adding too much allowance. I added just 1.5. Okay, I added 1.5 round. Then I will just connect just like this. The way you see me doing this video, I just connected the lines together. The next thing, from this part I went up by 1.5. So the reason why I added 1.5 inches at the back side is because of the buttocks. So it will help your bum relax properly and help it not to drag the shorts. Okay, so if your client's buttocks is very big, you can do 2 inches. Okay, we are done for the back. So the next thing I'm going to do is to cut out our sleeve, the sleeve for the top. Now the sleeve length I'm working with is 10 inches. Okay, so 10 inches for the length of the sleeve, and I'm just going to add extra 2 inches for folding because I want the folding to be bold. Okay, if you don't want your folding to be bold, you can just do 1 inch extra. So I added extra 1 inch. Then I marked 4. I came down by 4 there and I connected it to the center. Okay, come down by 4 for the side and you connect it to the center to give you a very balanced sleeve. So when you're done, just impute your necessary measurements and cut it out. So I added extra 2 inches for my normal sleeve measurements for ease. Okay, because I want the sleeve to be free. So I added extra 2 inches to my normal sleeve measurements, and that is it. After cutting this one, I'll use this one to cut out the second sleeve. So the next thing we're going to do is to cut the pocket for the short. So I want the length of the pocket to be 12 inches for the length. Yes, 12 inches, not too long and not too short, 12 inches. Then for the width, I'm making use of 7.5 for the width. Yes, 7.5 for the width. And as you can see, it's on fold. That means if I open it, it's 15 inches. So yeah, that's what I want for the pocket. Now the next thing I'm going to do is to give my pocket a little curve by the side, just a little slant. This is optional, but I love doing this for my shirt. So I'm going to come down by 8 inches. Remember, you subtract the 1.5 inch we subtracted, then you come down by 8 inches. Okay, you place your tape at 1.5 and you come down by 8 inches, and then you notch. Then I came in by 1 inch and then give it a little curve like this, just the way you see me doing. Then I'm going to trim that part off. So this will give my pocket a little curve. Now I'm going to do the same thing I did for this front pant, this front short. I'm going to do it for the pocket as well. So I would come down by 8 inches as well. Then I will go in by 1. The same thing I did for the front part, I'll do it for the pocket, and I will curve and trim it off. So this part is what I'll use in attaching the pockets for the shorts. Okay, I'll just join it like this. While we sew, you will understand better. Okay, we are done for the shorts. Now the next thing I'm going to do is to go over to my sewing machine and secure the neckline of the front top and the back. Okay, I'm just going to use my bias. Okay, I'm going to use my bias and secure it. Then I'll attach the Aso Oke to the down. Just join it together. I'll just join it together and I'll bring it back. Now we are done attaching So this is what it looks like. I double stitch at the front so that it will relax better. After that, I would go and join the shoulders together. Note, if you don't want to use a bias in turning the neckline, you can use a facing. You can cut out a piece of cloth to turn out your neckline. So I just use a bias for mine. Now I'm just going to hold the shoulder with my pins, and I'll move over to my sewing machine and join both shoulders together. I'll join both shoulders together, and then I will attach the sleeve as well. As you can see, I've gone ahead to fold the down of the sleeve. Now I've attached it, and by the side there is a little slit by the side, just from the part the Asoke joining started. I just slit it open by the side. So we are done for the top. I went ahead to also weave it as well to make it come out neat. So we are done for the top, and the next thing we are going to do is to go ahead to start sewing our pants. Now, after you are done sewing your top, please do well to iron as well. Now the next thing I'm going to do is to bring the two front pieces just like this and sew the crotch area together. After that, I will just hold it with my pins for it to relax. Then I'll move over to my sewing machine to secure it with just 1/2 inch. Now we're going to move over to the sewing machine, so I'll show you guys how to attach the pockets. Okay, how to attach the pockets. Now in attaching the pockets, after you have secured the crotch area, after you have sewed the crotch area with 1/2 inch, it's time to attach the pocket. So you get your pocket, that side that was curved, you place it together like this, and then you sew with 1/2 inch. Okay, you sew with 1/2 inch. Now after sewing it with 1/2 inch like this, the next thing we are going to do is to flip it over like this and double stitch. So I'm just going to sew on top. This will help it relax very well so that your pocket will not be puffing out after wearing. You double stitch like this. Okay, now after double stitching, the next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to fold it just like this. This part is optional. You can double stitch, move over, and just iron on top, but I love doing mine like this. I'm still going to flip it over like this, then sew on top. Okay, like I said, this part is optional. I'm going to sew on top like this. It helps your pocket to relax very, very, very well. So after sewing it like this, the next thing I'm going to do, as you can see, it's coming out really nice. The next thing I'm going to do is to secure the down part so that not when you put something inside your pocket, it will fall off. Okay, I'm going to secure the down part just with 1/2 inch as well. I'm just going to sew it like this. Just pay attention to what I'm doing and you will understand really well. It's very simple. Now after we are done, remember we subtracted 1/2 inch for the pocket. So the excess that will come out, the excess that will leave, is that 1 inch that we cut off while trying to give the pocket a curve. Remember the 1 inch we cut off while we were trying to give a curve to that area. So you bring the 1 inch back. Now your measurement for your short is back exactly the way you cut it. That 1 inch you subtracted is back. So, and that is it for the pockets. Then this part, when you join it to your back piece, you sew that part together and your pocket is really covered. So I'm going to do the same thing for the second pocket, and this is what our pants looks like. Okay, as you can see, I've gone ahead to join everything together. I've gone ahead to also sew the down part together. Now I just want to cut out the band for the pocket. So I measure how many inches I'll be needing for the width. So I've already gone ahead to measure. Now we are going to go ahead to my sewing machine to show you how to secure your bands to make it come out really neat and nice. So the first thing you are going to do is to pin it this way, and before you start pinning, you open the back crotch area, open it up by 1/2 inch or 1 inch before you start pinning it. Now, as you can see, I've gone ahead to sew everywhere around. Now, this is the back crotch area side. So to have a very neat band, so the next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to sew the band separately, sew the crotch separately, and join it together. So this is what I'm going to do. As you can see, I had to open it up just like this. So it depends on how many inches you use in securing the crotch area. I used half and quarter. So for the band, I'm still going to sew the same half and quarter from top to bottom. Okay, I'm going to sew the same half and quarter. I'll sew it like this. Yes, I'll sew it like this. And after sewing, as you can see, I'm sewing it separately. Okay, I'm not joining it to the crotch. I'm sewing it separately. So after sewing it like this, I'm going to bring the crotch area of the back as well, just like this. Just watch what I'm doing. I'm going to bring it and sew the same thing as well. Okay, I'm just going to sew it just like this. Please watch what I'm doing for you to understand better. Okay, now I'm done sewing both of them separately. So I'm going to get their edges like this. Watch what I'm doing. I'm going to get it like this, then sew it. Okay, just use your pin to hold it for it to be firm. Then I will just sew it round. So after sewing it, it will be like this. It will not come out rough. Okay, I'm just going to sew it just like this. All right. Now, the next thing I'm going to do, you take it over to your ironing table and iron very well. Okay, use water and press it so that it will relax. Then after ironing, this thing I'm doing in this video, you are going to be folding it and sew on top. You can secure with your pins so that it will come out firm, and then you fold it. You can use a iron, you fold and iron, then you sew on top. Now, since I don't have a 2-inch wide elastic, I don't want to make use of a wide elastic. I divided the waistband into 2 equal parts. I left an opening at the back where I'm going to be passing the elastic. This way, I can use 2 smaller elastic bands instead of 1 wide elastic. Okay, I'll use my safety pins to pass the elastic, and you'll be patient while inserting. I will insert 1 elastic into the first channel and another one into the second channel. So just watch what I'm doing and learn. So the width of the elastic band I used is half and quarter. It's not up to 1 inch. It's almost 1 inch, but not up to 1 inch, half and quarter. Okay, so I first of all inserted for the upper parts. Then after that, I did for the down parts. So the waist measurement is 32, but because I don't want the waist of the shorts to be too tight or too gummy, I made use of 23 inches. That is what I used for the elastic, 23 inches. So since the waist measurement is 32, I subtracted 9 from it and I used 23 inches. Okay, I used 23 inches for the elastic. Okay, but if you want yours to be more tight, you can use 20. Okay, so when I'm done inserting for the up, I did the same thing for the down as well. And when I'm done, I went over to my sewing machine and just covered up that part for the back side where I passed the elastic. I just went ahead to cover that part. So at this point, I was done inserting both elastic, and the next thing I'm going to do is just to go over to my sewing machine and cover that part I opened up to where I passed the elastic, and we are done for the shorts. So if you find this video really helpful, please do wait to like, comment, share, and subscribe to my YouTube channel. And don't forget to turn on the notification bell so you'll be notified whenever we post a new video. And I decided to wear it with my long trouser to church.